Today, I'm going to share with you how to get shippers to call you versus you cold calling them. All right. Now, first of all, wouldn't that be amazing? Wouldn't it be great if rather than you having to call shippers all the time and beg them for their time and beg them for their business and do the song and dance, that you actually had shippers calling you? Can you imagine if they called you and asked you for help? They needed help. They needed freight quotes. They needed capacity. They needed your expertise. Just imagine how that would feel. Imagine the difference in the type of conversation that you would have with your prospect. Now, I assure you that that conversation is very, very different. And the close ratio and the success ratio on those types of calls versus your outbound calls, it's exponentially better. So I want to share with you today, I'm going to share with you three primary strategies that will allow you to start generating inbound calls, right? Inbound leads, people that will be calling you, contacting you for your expertise, for your help, all right? So here's how it goes. I'm going to give you three. The first is called SEO, which stands for search engine optimization, right? And content marketing. So SEO and content marketing. Now, I can't do a deep dive on each one of these, but basically what this comes down to, SEO stands for search engine optimization and content marketing. So we all know Google, right, is a search engine. And what Google does is it indexes all of the websites out there, all of the images, all the content, all the information on the internet. It indexes them. And then when you go to search for something on YouTube, or not on YouTube, but on Google, what happens is they give you back results. And the way they base those results that they give you is based on relevance. That's where SEO and content marketing comes. So you have to actually create content, right? Much like I'm creating content right now. This is video content. You have to create content, either written content, which is like a blog or articles, or you have to create podcasts, which is audio content, or YouTube, which is video content. So content marketing is the foundation of SEO because you are going to leverage that content to get ranked by the search engines so that when somebody searches for a term that's very relevant to them, to whoever your target market is, you are going to organically come up in the search results. You do not have to pay for that. That's not paid advertising. This is organic SEO and content marketing, okay? So that's number one. I'll give you an example. My blog for Freight Broker Bootcamp, just the blog itself, just the articles that we've written, get over 10,000 visitors a month just to those articles. 10,000 visitors a month. And I didn't publish any articles last month or the month before, and I'm still getting 10,000 new visitors a month to those articles just from those blog posts that I've generated over the years that Google has then indexed, all right? My YouTube channel will get over 1 million views this year in 2022. Last year, I think it was about 750,000. This year, it'll be over 1 million people, 1 million different views of the videos on my YouTube channel. So I created that video content, and now over 1 million people a year are going to see my face and see that content, right? The podcast that I just talked about that I launched a few months ago, the Freight Broker Bootcamp audio experience, that's a brand new podcast, and we're almost doing 10,000 downloads a month right now, and it's a brand new podcast, literally. So that content is being downloaded and listened to through their different podcast platforms, almost 10,000 downloads per month. That's content marketing. So then what happens is the search engines will then index that content, and whenever anybody searches for it on Google or on YouTube or on Apple, guess what comes up? My content. Guess what comes up? My brand. Guess what comes up? My programs, right? So that's an example of how to use SEO and content marketing to generate inbound leads, because once they see your content, now it has a link back to your website, or you give them some sort of a call to action, and now they can go directly to your website, and then they can contact you. They can request some more information. They can give you their email address. They can call your phone number. So that's content marketing and SEO is how you can drive traffic to your website to then generate inbound leads, because people will know, like, and trust you, right, through that content. And then that's how you're going to generate those inbound calls, right? All right, so that's number one, SEO and content marketing. Number two is similar, right? There's some similarities here, but it's called paid advertising, paid online advertising. So we all know Google, Bing, Facebook, YouTube, all of the major platforms out there all make their money predominantly through paid advertising. So what they do, most of them sell what's called pay-per-click advertising. So you have the ability, rather than going through the process, or in addition to going through the process of creating content that's indexed by the search engines, what you can do, you can actually put an ad above that indexed content. So you can pay for placement of an advertisement above that content that's very keyword specific, right? So if someone searched the term freight broker in Buffalo, hypothetically, you would be able to place an ad on Google that your company name and information would pop up at the top of the search engine, and then they could contact you, right? So paid advertising, pay-per-click advertising, predominantly the platforms that I like for freight brokers is Google, Bing, YouTube, and Facebook. Those are the four big ones where you would do pay-per-click. I would say the heaviest percentage of those is probably Google and LinkedIn. Those are the most targeted, but you could also use Bing, which is another search engine, and you could use Facebook as well because, of course, traffic, transportation, logistics managers are also on Facebook, right? So those are a few platforms. You would place an ad. We've all seen those ads. You go to Google, you'll search for a term, and then you'll see the organic content, but you'll see a couple of ads above that and even below it that say paid ads, right? So those are ads where you're injecting yourself into the middle of their search, into the middle of their internet experience, and you now have the opportunity to generate a lead, an inbound call, an inquiry, a request for more information. All right, so that's paid online advertising. First one was SEO and organic content marketing. Two was paid online advertising, right? So we talked about that, how that works with Google and YouTube. And remember, just so you know, YouTube is the second largest search engine online, right? Google's number one, YouTube's number two. Guess who they're owned by? They're all owned by Alphabet. They're all owned by Google, right? So Google owns the number one and number two search engines in the world, and the way they make their money is on pay-per-click advertisement, right? So you can do paid online ads to put yourself in front of your target market for a fee, right? All right, so that's number two. Number three is social media marketing, right? So for example, sites like LinkedIn and Facebook and Twitter and Pinterest and TikTok, all of those different social media platforms are a way to control attention, to generate eyeballs to your content, to your brand, and to drive traffic, right? So my favorite for freight brokering, for getting freight broker leads and shippers, is LinkedIn. Now you can also use, I also like Twitter. I think Twitter and LinkedIn are the most viable for social media marketing when it comes to freight brokers. And the way you do that is you post content, whether that be microblogs or videos or images or memes or different stories. You post those stories on your feed, which is absolutely free. It costs you nothing. And then what happens is those get distributed. Those are a distribution channel that then go out to your network and then beyond your network. And that's how you can start on a one-to-many platform, start generating eyes on your content, which then lead back to your website, which then lead to a call, right? Or maybe lead to your profile and then they reach out to you and you get a call, right? So that's social media marketing, again, is organic. This is what I'm not talking about pay-per-click ads. I'm talking about organic social media marketing. It's much like content marketing, but rather than putting it on your blog or on YouTube, it's actually going on the social media, on your social media platforms, on your social media channels, on your profiles, right? And the biggest one that I think would be the biggest benefit for you as a freight broker from a social media perspective is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the world's largest professional networking site. It's kind of like Facebook, but it's much more professional, and it's highly targeted to businesses, business owners, and people that are operating inside the business space. So if you want to search for shipping managers, logistics managers, traffic managers, transportation managers, you can target those people exactly by title, by geography, by industry, on LinkedIn, okay? So those are the three different ways, the three different channels, the three different strategies that you can use to generate calls from your shippers without having to cold call them, okay? That's the distinction. With this type of strategy, what I want you to understand, there's two different things. There's cold calling and sales. There's sales versus marketing. Both are important. Most startups begin with cold calling because it's a lower cost. It doesn't, it's something that's a lot easier to understand, and it's typically a little quicker, right? Marketing, on the other hand, is where you're creating awareness through these different strategies like social media and content marketing and pay-per-click advertising, and you're generating inbound leads, right? So you need both, right, to have a highly profitable, sustainable freight brokerage or freight agency. I would strongly suggest that you have both. You need to invest in both. Now, some of you might have limited funds, right, when you first get started. So you're going to go the free route with content marketing. You're going to create content. You're going to be on LinkedIn and using LinkedIn. You're not going to do pay-per-click advertising. You're not going to do paid ads. And that's okay. You don't have to. But eventually what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take some of those profits that you're generating and invest it into marketing. The reason being is because once you get that flywheel started, right? Like when I started my YouTube channel, I had 0 views. I had 0 subscribers. Now I think I've got maybe 40,000 subscribers, and we'll get over 1 million views per year on that channel. Guess what those views cost me? 0. I don't pay for those views. Those are all organic. My blog, the same sort of thing. I said we get over 10,000 page views per month just to the blog alone, right? And I created some of that content 5-10 years ago, and because Google has indexed it, I'm continue to get that inbound traffic and those inbound inquiries, okay? So those are the 3 different ways that you can get shippers to call you versus you cold calling them. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you implement some of these into your business. If you guys have questions, make sure you hit me up in the comments. But for those of you that are curious about becoming a freight broker or a freight agent, right? You're trying to hobble this information together on Google and YouTube and all these different platforms, go to freightbrokerbootcamp.com. We've trained over 10,000 students, been in business over a decade, okay? Our reviews are amazing. We've had tons of success stories, and we offer a 100% unconditional 60-day money-back guarantee. If you're not happy for any reason, just let us know. We'll refund your money, okay? So can't get much better than that. Make sure you check out freightbrokerbootcamp.com, and I'll see you next week.